on the maritime archaeology of India, that is known as marine archaeology, which, which started in India 1986 and 87. And the underwater archaeological exploration started from 1993-94. And I was associated with that project from 1988. During our explorations, we have carried out underwater diving, videography, photography, all kind of surveys in Dwarika, Pumpuhar, Vijay Durga, Mahabalipuram, Dwarika, Lakshadweep, Odisha, and other parts of India. During our survey, we have found submerged ports, submerged settlements, man and sea relationship, shipwrecks. Besides that, we have also studied on the traditional boat building. And during our study, we have provided some information to reconstruct the history of our country. For instance, people have read that Hippolytus discovered monsoon wind. Okay. And secondly, that traditional boat building, everything is borrowed from foreign countries. But our Harappans were no doubt they were the mariners, ancient mariners of our country, they were having the trade relations with Mesopotamia and all those things. And there is a text which has been deciphered in the Mesopotamian region, which clearly states that Melua region and what kind of goods and artifacts were transported from India and what things were coming. But coming back to east coast of India, if we will see the maritime trade, see the Satavahana coins and Sangam period text and so many other evidences clearly provide the information that the mariners of east coast of India were also equally, they had the knowledge of sailing to different part of the world. And who were these mariners in the early historical period? The Buddhists were the mariners and the Hindu people were the mariners. Because all along the Southeast Asia, for instance, in Thailand, there are few sites which has been excavated. The evidences clearly show that the former name, the earlier name of Gautama Buddha called Sakya Sima, okay? The carnelian beads which girls use as a pendant and other things in the form of line. And the pottery, there is one kind of pottery called knobbed ware, which we use in our Hindu tradition. The similar kind of pottery was used by Buddhist monks. Even till today, the Buddhist monks, they use those kind of pottery for using, for begging. That is called begging bowl. Okay. Similarly, we have located several shipwrecks. For instance, because the Indian literature gives us information about Indian shipwrecks, but because of various reasons, for instance, visibility. I know diving, I have dived up to 35 meters in Indian waters and more than 155 feet in this Mediterranean world. But in India, we were not, why, though records clearly suggest we were having the shipwrecks, the basic problem is visibility. Okay. When we dive, I cannot see in some places more than 1 meter or more than half a meter. Okay. That is the biggest problem. And this problem has been discussed in various forums, both in India and abroad. Okay. So in India, we have located a shipwreck which is the early 17th century. There we have found elephant tusks, hippopotamus teeth, and so many things. While working on it, we came to know that when the Vasco da Gama and others, when they came for trade, which the trade was there earlier during the Roman period for the spices. And to accelerate the trade system, what they did, they were coming along the west coast, in the African coast, they were bringing their cargo from Europe, they were unloading in African coast, they were taking these hippopotamus teeth, other things to India, and they were selling in India. And in Goa, in Bharuch, Gujarat, and other places where there were number of traditional craftsmanship, again they were making the finished artifacts, and again they were taking those things and selling. So if you will see some museums, you will find very good carved, nice elephant and ivory artifacts. Those were made in India. And so Portuguese people, what they started, they were gaining two profits in one business. So that system they had introduced. And coming back to what Vijay Durga, our Dr. Kadamji was mentioned, we had worked in Vijay Durga waters and we have found one underwater wall. Okay. See, there were two purposes of making that is datable to Maratha period. One was Maratha ships were smaller in size than the European ships. And the fort is located around half a kilometer, on the seashore, but the depth where we have found the structure is around 5 to 7 meters. This is half a kilometer. So when the Europeans were using the cannons to destroy the fort, they have to come much closer because of during those kind of artillery. So they were unaware of that wall. So the purpose was to destroy after hitting. Second one is west coast of India is prone to cyclones and severe monsoon wind. So when the winds come and waves come, to protect the fort. And secondly, in Vijay Durga and in Sindhudurg, for the first time, we have recorded the evidence of reuse of stone anchors. The stone anchors were used prior to the implementation or use of iron anchors. And different kind of iron anchors has been used. And me, my colleagues, and Dr. Sindhe, we were working on it for our National Maritime Heritage Complex. And I request the authorities, okay, to bring those iron anchors. One anchor is in Shivaji, they tell it is in the Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute in Bombay. I will tell you, we have an anchor found in Goa waters of the contemporary period. Because of lack of care, the anchor has been destroyed already, the anchor which is there in Mumbai. Similarly, there are number of anchors and all those things. So for the first time, we have noticed the reuse of stone anchors in Vijay Durga and Sindhudurg. And as he suggested, we have lot of maritime evidence and information. We should keep it a track. And there is a lot of opportunity for the young students to pursue this maritime archaeology as their career.